Well, hello. Today I want to talk about the haters. Because the hater's going to hate, and I will try to not rant too much on this one. But if you're going to be an entrepreneur, if that is something that you want to do, or maybe you already are, maybe I don't need to tell you, but you're going to run into some haters. And I want to try to give you a little perspective on why that can be a good thing. Okay? So let me explain with a little story from my past. Now, when I was leaving my job, there was one guy. People deal with these things differently. A lot of people are supportive. A lot of people are, it's bittersweet, we're sorry to lose you, but we're glad you're moving on to something you're excited about. But then there's people who take it as an affront to their way of life. And these are the haters. So there was this one guy who brought me into his office, wanted to talk to me, to help me out, And basically, he told me about how he had tried to do something similar for a few years, and his wife told him to get a real job, and he had a couple of kids on the way. I mean, it was kind of sad. It was almost like he blamed these people, his family, for not being able to do what he wanted to do. But that kind of leads into exactly what we're talking about here. So he took about 30 minutes to shit on all my ideas, the plan I had, which, being in finance, I kind of understand that a business needs to run as a business. It wasn't an impetuous, spurious decision. I hope those words are good. Anyway, though, his intent wasn't so much to help me out, I don't think. His intent was to change my mind. He wanted to convince me that what I was doing was not a good idea. And maybe you could say that there's a lot of concern and love behind this. That's possible. But really, the reason most haters say what they say and do what they do is because they have failed somewhere, and if somebody else succeeds, then they can't blame it on anyone but themselves. Even though this guy, he's a smart guy, he knows that there are other entrepreneurs out there and probably doing exactly what he had tried to do, but that's a little more abstract, right? You can kind of say, oh, whatever, there's lucky people out there, or some people were born with money, or they don't have kids, or whatever. There's any number of excuses that people can come up with to justify their actions and their beliefs, right? So that's not really the point. The point is that here it was going to be a very specific, very tangible, very, in his face reminder of his failure. And first of all, let me just say there's nothing wrong with failure. I wish that whole word would change its meaning in our society. But anyway, let's get very clear on this. This was before I had left my job. This was before I had any amount of really measurable success. I had a couple of clients that I was working with for very little money. And already this guy was trying to tear me down. And that brings me to a concept to perhaps leave you on. I heard this, I think, originally from Tony Robbins. There are two ways to have the tallest building in town. One way is you can work really hard and you can build the tallest building in town. The other way is to tear all the other buildings down. And this is no different than the schoolyard bully. This is, things change and life evolves and gets more complex, and business is complex enough. But the concept is the same. And some people, for whatever reason, have given up on building their own building, and they would rather tear others down to bring themselves up. And it's sad, but if you can recognize this, if you can understand that the reason people are hating on you probably has nothing to do with you, it is all their problem, it's all in their head, it's all their insecurity, then you can use it as motivation. You can understand it better, and you can take it almost as a compliment. It's like, wow, this guy's threatened by me. I haven't even done anything. So think of it how you want, but please, if you're an entrepreneur, you are going to get some haters, and you're going to have to deal with this. And I think if you keep it in this light, it's a great way. It's like I said, it's basically a compliment, and you can just use it as motivation. So I hope this is helpful to you. Let me know what you think, if you've experienced this before, how you've dealt with it, how you'd like to deal with it going forward. It's going to happen. There's ups and downs, and we all need to be prepared to deal with it in the best way that is going to keep us moving towards our vision, building that building. And to that, and I want to have maybe not the tallest building in town, but I want to have a damn good view. Okay? So that's what I'm working towards. Tell me what you're working towards, and I look forward to seeing you next time.